Hi, this is Professor Odom. This might be the last video I record for you this semester. Um, of course, I want to say that it's been a pleasure interacting with you and reading the way that your research developed over the course of the semester. It was really cool to read your essays, and I learned a lot about some areas of research that I don't specialize in. So thank you for those, and I look forward to reading the revisions. Now, just to be super clear, the revision essay is its own separate grade. It's not, doesn't have anything to do with the grade that you got for the bibliographic essay, which I just turned into you. It's a separate paper grade. You have to do it. It's required. Everyone needs to work on revision, and so that's what I'm grading is your process of revising based on feedback. I will put up a little video lecture I recorded last year it was for undergraduates, and I'm not expecting like a fourth of your paper to be different like I think I say in the video because your paper is much longer. But anyway, it makes the point that I look at the changes. I look at the quantity and the quality of the changes in between your first submission and your second submission, and that's what I focus on, and that's what I grade. So for all of you, I gave you the kind of feedback that if you follow it will be a substantial revision. That's what I will consider to be a substantial revision for your particular paper. That's that. Other course business, please fill out your evaluation of the course. It's really important to me, and my bosses see that and take it into consideration when doing my third-year review, which I'm going to be up for this next year. So please do your course evaluation. I'll probably bug you again before the deadline. There is no reading quiz this week. I didn't get it up fast enough, and I'm more interested in hearing your thoughts in the discussion board about the labor readings and your reaction to what I'm about to tell you. So discussion board, no reading quiz this week. All right, now I get to my spiel that I have been thinking about since learning about you and your career aspirations since the beginning of the semester. I don't want to say that the subtitle of this little talk is going to be "Don't go to graduate school," because you're already in it, but I mean like a PhD program. I just want to give you some information that I hope you will consider if you are still thinking about pursuing a PhD after you get your master's from us. So the departure point, or the starting point, is the Harris essay. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss. And the boss, of course, that's a reference to a Who song. The boss in that case, he's responding to a previous article by James Sled, and referenced on the bottom of 44. And James Sled attacked the field of composition by saying there's a division between boss compositionists and which is a writing program administrator. That's what the official title of those people often are. Basically, it's a full-time faculty person, sometimes staff, but usually faculty, who supervises grad students and adjuncts and the people who teach freshman composition, or basic or remedial English, as there are a lot of those sections in community colleges, but not at UT Tyler. So that person is sort of like a sellout. They work for the department in their full-time position. They have benefits. They might be a compositionist, or they might be someone who just kind of got that job, but their specialty is literature. It sort of has slavery overtones. So it's kind of a disturbing article that Harris is responding to, but that's the boss is the WPA. That's the position that Harris is in. I love the readability of this article, and it makes me feel all kinds of contradictory feelings about the field of the university and my place in it, and my students' place in it. So I wanted to quickly highlight a couple of places that I think are extra important. When he refers to cultural capital, Bourdieu's notion of cultural capital, I didn't write down the page number for that, but that means cultural capital is skills and knowledge, and a right kind of knowledge about things, like especially taste, having to do with middle class taste, upper class tastes that doesn't have any economic value, but it has like cultural value. So there's a difference between that and economic capital that, actually has a value. And academics are in this weird position, and as our graduate students, a weird position of kind of cultural capital we want or have in terms of the knowledge that we have, especially if it's literature. It's that's traditionally something that is associated with upper class knowledge, versus what we get paid for our labor. So graduate students are in a weird position, and that weird position doesn't end when you become a professor if you are if that's your sole source of income. Professors like to say that we don't make very much, but that usually means compared to other fields that we could go into. Anyway, the part about cultural capital, Bourdieu, I wish I had the page number for you, but I didn't. Oh yeah, it's on the bottom of 50. Okay, and then you can skim the part about Henry James starting on 52, pick it back up on 54, the section called The Seductions of Professionalism, and I really wanted to highlight a part on page 56 and 57 that's about the discipline's status in terms of academia and university and the status of knowledge versus, and that's a lot of what the readings have been about, like composition establishing itself as a research field. That's come up over and over and over again, and almost all the readings you've done have referred back to that process and the origins of the field, the progress of the field, the status of the field, all this kind of status anxiety that composition has exhibited over the past few decades. Harris wrote this in 2000, and even more today in 2016. That is not so much of an issue anymore. We have tons of journals, university presses, conferences, all of the trappings of a real academic field, a real research field. So we don't have to kind of be aware of that, we don't have to be as anxious about that kind of disciplinary status anymore.